Today, I want to talk about how our insecurities can sometimes become the very foundation of our identity. This is the full tea that I didn't tell you. The most important part isn't what you put on your face, it's how you speak to yourself. Because beauty really does start from within, and the words that you tell yourself really do matter more than anything else. Hey guys, welcome to Beyond the Makeup. I'm your host, Christen Dominique, and I cannot believe we're in episode 2. This has been an idea in my head for so many years, and to be sitting here in episode 2 is so wild. Today's episode is really personal for me. It's about the power of makeup, not as in the video that went viral or the product, the concealer that got me to this point, but as a feeling, a shift. That moment when you start seeing yourself differently. I didn't realize how powerful makeup could be until it helped me show up in the world. Not perfectly, not confidently every day, but bravely. So today I want to talk about how our insecurities can sometimes become the very foundation of our identity. Before we get into that, I want to share a quick life lately update. It's been a chaotic week, you guys. Also, I'm taking off this side because I have concealer on. I had a meeting this morning, so I had to put something on so I don't look tired. So I'm going to take it off so I can show you visually how I cover my under eye circles. But anyways, I launched a mascara, flew to New York, presented in front of hundreds of people about something I can't really even speak about yet. I made some really big, really emotional decisions inside of my company. And at the same time, I've been building this podcast. Building a podcast is a whole nother journey. It's not a makeup tutorial, you guys. It is so much more technical than a makeup tutorial and just talking about how to do a look. Let's get into it. But anyways, it's been exciting, but also exhausting. I'm stressed, but it's good stress. I wouldn't dream of having anything else but this type of stress in my life right now because it's all so good. I'm all so grateful for this type of next level stress. I have cried. I broke down a few times just because it is chaotic. And then there's so many layers and so many things that you're doing all at the same time, building a business, expanding the company, managing people, creating content, and starting to do more speaking engagement. From someone who came from being shy and still is, I'm not shy. I love people. I love talking to people. I love talking, which is why I have this podcast. But it's not something that I ever thought I would be currently traveling and doing now. I'm so grateful to be here. Sometimes the seasons that look the most exciting on the outside are the ones that stretch you the most on the inside. And I wanted to say that out loud in case you're in one of those seasons too. But growing up, my biggest insecurity were my under eye circles. I was teased about my under eye circles early on through school. I was called names, harsh ones. And when you're that young, you don't really know how to process it. You just know it hurts. When people label you as something, you start wanting to hide. You start shrinking before you even realize that's what you're doing. I started feeling like people noticed that before they noticed me, especially when names like Panda Girl were attached to it. It made me quieter, smaller, and just more in my head. I didn't feel confident walking into a room as myself. I felt like I had to earn space or just disappear. Have you ever felt that way? Like you walk into a room physically present, but emotionally small? People notice that, even when you think they don't. And I want to say this because insecurity doesn't only come from how you look. Some people are bullied for who they like, how they spoke, how they dress, how they laugh, or simply just for being themselves. And when that happens early on, you start learning a lesson that being you, yourself, is risky. So you start to adapt, edit yourself. You soften the parts of what make you who you are. You kind of hide what lights you up because you don't want to be targeted. Not me using the same brush for my bronzer and blush because I forgot my contour brush at home. Anyways, and that kind of insecurity goes deeper than appearance. It settles into identity. Let me know if you've ever asked yourself this. Is this too much? I'm not talking about the blush. Is this okay? Should I tone this down? And slowly, without realizing it, you stop showing up as yourself. And it's not because you don't have a personality. It's because you were taught your personality or who you are wasn't safe. Okay, this is the story that I talked about in my last episode, but this is the full tea. that I didn't tell you. By the way, I'm putting on a pressed powder over the top. For cameras, it does wonders. For photos in person, it could look a little powdery, but this is just for cameras. One day, I grabbed my mom's concealer and I took it to school. She didn't know that I grabbed it. I kind of like low-key stole it out of her purse and put it on. I was desperate, okay? Desperate because I actually had somebody follow me home and throw rocks at me and call me names I would never say on camera or anywhere. They were just really, really bad names. One of the rocks actually broke my window, and that was like a whole thing. My parents involved the police. It was ridiculous, but part of the story, I feel like I had to say it. But this was the level of bullying that made me grab that concealer from her purse and said I had enough. I didn't know what I was doing. I just know she used it to hide her under eye circles, so I did the same thing. I remember doing that little triangle under my eyes, blending it the best I could, and then just walking into school feeling like a whole new person. And let me tell you, things were so different that day. I remember my crush talked to me. I raised my hand in class, and girls were asking me like, what did you do different? In a good way. They were also just telling me how good I looked that day, and I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Like, I feel like a whole different person. Like, people are treating me different. I'm getting compliments. And at that age, that was something I just never really experienced before. I was about 14 years old, and if you remember being that age, you know peers, reputation, school, that is your world. And oh my goodness, that one day gave me so much confidence. And here's the part that matters most. That day, nothing about me changed physically. Yes, I had makeup on, I had a little concealer on, but my body didn't transform into like a different human. I don't know if you've seen that show, The Beautiful, on Netflix, I think it's called, by Ryan Murphy. It was not that, you know what I mean? But what did change was me emotionally and how I showed up as myself. That was the first time I realized makeup wasn't about hiding. It gave me permission to show up as me. And not because I was perfect, but because I felt safe enough to be seen as me. This is the mascara I launched recently. I'm using it for like the first time on this show, but yeah, so exciting. I don't have any mascara on my lower lashes, so I'm gonna put some on. And this is our brown shade. Confidence doesn't change your face, it changes your posture, your voice, and the way you walk into a room. The world didn't treat me differently. I treated myself differently. Sometimes confidence doesn't start from within. Sometimes it just starts with evidence. And once you feel it once, you spend the rest of your life trying to come home to it. Since this is episode 2, I actually haven't even aired episode 1 in my reality. In your reality, it's up, but I don't have voicemails to play yet. But I'll leave the number on the screen so you can call in and share your stories, your moments, your feelings. We can talk about them here. For now, I want to leave a healing note for our inner child. Maybe your insecurity wasn't your face. Maybe it was your voice, your body, who you loved, how you loved, or even how much space you took up. Wherever you are right now, just listen. This message that I'm about to say right now is for your younger self who didn't feel seen yet. You were always enough. You just hadn't realized it. One day you'll understand that the thing that you were insecure about will become part of your power. You don't need to fix you. You just need to listen to you. Healing isn't loud, it's soft. I'm using the Doolala from Benefits, the tiniest highlight I have ever seen, but I like it so much I travel with it. After that, makeup became more than just personal for me. I started doing other people's makeup in the locker room. I talked about this in episode 1, but this is a little bit more detail about it. Suddenly, this shy, quiet girl that couldn't even make eye contact found connection through makeup. I mean, friends, conversation, trust, and belonging. When I watched other people light up the same way I did, I realized this isn't just vanity. It's about being seen. And confidence grows faster when it's shared. And it's nice when you don't have to heal alone. That's why being the locker room makeup artist from middle school through high school was such an important moment for me, because I was able to connect and create friendships and connection through makeup. And I continue to do this out of school. I would do like photo shoots for models, weddings here and there. makeup on friends, coworkers, family. I actually started working at an insurance company. I think I was like in my early 20s, maybe 19, 20, just because I had just had a baby. So I was like, oh, I need a good job that pays pretty decent. So I started doing that. I was doing my community's makeup basically. And I wasn't doing it like a full-time job. It's just something I love so deeply because I could connect so deeply in this way. That's why I have so much love for makeup, because it's not just what I'm putting on my face, how I look, yes, slay, but at the same time, connecting, becoming my own, and feeling seen was the biggest and most important thing for me. Now makeup for me is a tool. It's not something that I use to hide. I can go out without makeup and feel fine. I feel confident in my own skin. I know who I am. And because you're covering something up and wanting to belong and become someone, that's why it's so important how you speak to yourself. You are beautiful. You are smart. You can do anything. You can do hard things. You can talk to people. You have the answers for yourself. Just believe in yourself. No one's gonna do it for you. Oh my God, I put my mole in the wrong place because my mole's there and I put it there. Anyways, I had no idea when I started sharing my story on YouTube how many people would actually relate to that. A lot of them had dark under eye circles and went through that and wasn't able to walk out of the house without concealer on, that exactly. But I got so many other comments about other types of insecurities, different faces, different stories, but all the same feeling. But when I shared that power of makeup moment YouTube video that was going viral and did half makeup, half no makeup, and showed up as who I was and all the insecurities that I had in my story, like so much connection happened again on YouTube. So this is me as an adult. At that time, I was in my late 20s. I didn't realize that I needed that connection myself at that time. And that was the connection that was going to get me to the next level. That was my superpower. And that's when it really hit me. Makeup has power when it helps you show up as yourself, not hide behind it. Going through what I went through in middle school and finding my passion and now my purpose, I needed to find it again as an adult. So this video was a staple moment for me in my career as a YouTube creator and as a person, realizing that I still had a lot to learn within myself and still do, to be honest. I feel like we're always evolving as human beings, and it's just so normal not to have everything figured out. It's so normal to have bad days. It's so normal to feel the bad things, but you got to remember and come back to this moment. And that video launched my whole career because identity isn't who you pretend to be, it's who you return to. In that moment, I needed to return back to that confident power and connection that as an adult with a young child and husband in this new state, in a new career, hopefully, I needed. Being so isolated, being a mother and working on your craft, your thoughts sometimes get isolated in this one project and you forget to connect. For some of us, returning to ourselves means unlearning the belief that who we are, who we love, what we love, and how we exist needs permission. You don't need permission to show up as who you are, what you are, and where you're going. If you're listening to this right now and you're unsure of who you are, or you feel like you need permission to be or show up as you are authentically, the only permission you need is from you. Because when you open up, the world opens up with you. They see you. When you believe in yourself, and everybody says this, like, believe in yourself. What does it mean to actually believe in yourself? When you know that you are able and willing to reach your goals and love yourself without caring about what anybody says, does, or looks at, that's your power. Once you're your own best friend, that's why I say talk to yourself like you love yourself. Watch how you speak to yourself. Take back anything negative. Oh my God, my thighs are too big, or my stomach is hanging over, my acne is showing up too much. It doesn't matter. Honestly, nobody is actually paying that close of attention more than you are. And if they are, they got a lot of time on their hands. And you don't need to be around people who are thinking and looking at you in a negative way. Avoid them. When you're your own best friend, you hype your own self up, nobody can touch you. Nope. You can walk into any room and you own it because you are who you are, and nobody can take that from you. Let me tell you guys, confidence isn't loud, it's grounded. Nobody can hear. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room to say, oh, yeah, that person's confident. She's loud. No, you can be the quietest person in the room and have that grounded, confident energy. Everybody can feel that energy. Even if you don't feel it, tell yourself that you feel it until you feel it, because your brain doesn't know what's real and what's not real. It's only accepting what you're telling it. And let me just tell you, I still have my not so great days, but this is the thing that has changed greatly for me. I stopped asking, do they like me? And I started asking, do I like myself here? And that's the moment that changed my inner confidence in my late 20s. And it's something that I work on all the time, every day. Am I 100% the most confident woman in the room all the time? No, I'm human. But these tools help me become more accepting and loving for myself. And when you do this, you apply it. I want you guys, if you're out there and you're willing to try this, I want you to apply it to yourself and notice how people change. Once you even change the idea in your head about yourself, if it's down, switch it around, go into a room, everybody will feel your energy. If makeup gives you confidence, that doesn't make you shallow, that makes you human. But the most important part isn't what you put on your face, it's how you speak to yourself. Because beauty really does start from within, and the words that you tell yourself really do matter more than anything else. You know that feeling when your friends are gossiping and you join in just to belong, but then you leave feeling heavy? I've done that. I'm human. It is not right. But it's the same on how you talk and show up for yourself. My goodness, speak to yourself with kindness. Speak about others with kindness. And I promise you, you will feel lighter. If you're currently feeling heavy right now, try that. Even if you think it's fake or you think you're lying to yourself, do it. It doesn't matter. Your brain doesn't know any better. So tell it good things and don't say bad things about other people, because it leaves you feeling heavy and ugly and it just comes back to you. I want this space to feel safe, and I want you to feel seen here with me. And I also want you to know that your insecurities don't disqualify you, they actually connect you. And if this story felt familiar for you or hit you in any type of way, you're home. And I'm giving you the biggest hug right now. Thank you for listening. This is so important to me. This is the most important thing I've ever done because I'm going beyond the makeup. See you next time.